What's up, guys? Jamie here, and welcome to episode 9 of No Turning Back. All our links are in the description, and I'm really sorry for this hideous cold sore on my lip. I can't do anything about it. But anyway, as always, I am with my co-host. Would you like to say anything?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Razman's Reality in the house. Interesting week of WWE this week, I think. So,
Yeah.
a lot to talk about. And then we decided to do something we probably should have done a while back, but we just keep forgetting to do it. So, why don't you talk about what that is while I get us the live link to share out for it?
Okay, so originally for the first episode of No Turning Back 2.0, because I originally had No Turning Back way back in the day. It's like almost 6 years ago now. But in 2010, I had No Turning Back. So now it's No Turning Back 2.0. And we discussed in the 2.0 first episode, we wanted to do a Q&A, but we never got the chance, or it was too much time, or we really didn't have any questions. So that's what we're going to do at the end of the show. We're probably going to consistently try to have a Q&A and maybe a guest host, or maybe only for the guest host, maybe only on certain occasions, like after a pay-per-view or something special is supposed to happen. But for at least a Q&A, we're going to try to be consistent every week. And in my old show, No Turning Back, I did do Q&As too, and I had a guest host at the end of the show. So we might add in new stuff, take away new stuff, and maybe not necessarily have it through the whole on every episode, but definitely, consistently with the Q&A question. So if you have anything, you can always leave comments or on our Twitters and other social media. But definitely, if you are going to ask us questions and you're here live, you should definitely do it in the group chat and write your comments or what questions that you may have that we are currently talking about or want to know. But we are going to consistently try to bring back some things and maybe not necessarily have it for that episode, but do it the next episode. So anyway, would you like to say anything else?
Well, I just wanted to quickly, I really haven't talked to you about this, but I'm sure you kind of feel the same way and would be okay with it. I was thinking that with the holidays kind of approaching, we may have to do this on Sundays some weeks because, we'll be busy setting up for Christmas or doing family stuff. So this is always going to be on the weekend, but it may sometimes be on a Sunday at least.
Yeah, we've already had that already where we had to move it to a Sunday. So it's not really a big deal. It'll either be a Saturday or Sunday. Mainly Saturdays, but sometimes, occasionally, it'll be on a Sunday.
Okay. Yeah, but that's all I wanted to cover because I didn't remember doing that, so I apologize.
All right, so before we have too long of rambling for the intro, let's talk about Raw.
And I just tweeted the live link.
Yep, I see. And so we're going to start off with Raw. And Raz, would you like to go ahead and give your thoughts?
Really, the only things that I thought this week that were really built on Raw was, and I'll kind of do them in reverse order from what I think is most important right now, that the Divas division is kind of going in an interesting direction with, like, Charlotte working more closely with her father and acting more, quote unquote, like a Flair. And she hasn't really gotten in a feud with Becky Lynch, but she's done things to Becky Lynch, like she was in that exhibition match with Becky Lynch and then faked a knee injury to get herself a victory on Raw. And then on SmackDown, Becky was in a match and Becky had the match won, but since Charlotte got kicked by Becky's opponent, Charlotte gets frustrated, attacks Becky's opponent, and costs Becky the match. So I'm really interested in what this is. Are they building a feud between these two? Are they turning Charlotte heel? Like, I don't really understand what the dynamic is here. Does this mean that she's done with Paige? Because that would kind of be a shame because I thought they would have at least one more match. Like, what is your take on that storyline right now?
On the Divas?
Yeah, between Charlotte and Becky Lynch, yeah.
Well, can we just start off by saying, like, the divas actually have us engaged? Like, before, you remember when you and I were talking about it? I think it was yesterday on Skype, how it was normally the pee break that, I'm not trying to be funny, but, it was
Yeah,
normally the
yeah,
pee break that we would
yeah,
go.
I was joking around on private chat with her, and I was saying, what do people do now when they have to pee during a show?
Because the divas are so good, and I just think the storyline is so good right now, so interesting. And normally with the divas, it's just like, but they've been consistently having good storylines with the women's wrestlers. I'm not gonna say divas anymore. I don't like saying divas. Might
I
slip
don't,
out once or
I
twice,
don't
but
like saying
with the
divas.
women wrestlers,
Yeah,
um, they've actually been very consistent, and that's probably one of the few great things about WWE right now. And normally when the divas would come on, like we were just saying, we would go get a snack, we would have to pee. I don't know what else you did during the divas. You may just wanted to go take a break. But normally, like, the divas were totally uninteresting. But now they're not. So,
yeah,
and
no,
I actually thought that Raw was actually pretty good. Like, WWE actually tried
yeah, well,
this
the
episode.
majority of Raw is what we're gonna talk about next, but that's why I wanted to start out with the divas. And the reason I say divas is because so people don't get confused between what's going on in the main roster and what's going on with NXT. That's the only reason I use the word divas, but
True,
I
and sometimes it
completely,
slips out when I say it because we're so used to saying divas.
yeah. So, what is your opinion? Do you think they're building a feud between Becky and Charlotte here, or are they just trying to like plant the seed that maybe they could? Like,
Well, I think maybe after a storyline finished the storyline that's going on right now, and then kind of switch to them because you obviously have to have some sort of feud right after, or you have
yeah,
to build onto another feud.
yeah. And Paige is just like in the background, like stirring the pot. So, do you think
Yeah,
they're
she's just
like,
kind of like adding to it.
yeah? So, yeah, I was just really surprised. I didn't expect them to go in this direction. I thought Charlotte's next feud would have been with Sasha Banks, but I really like that Becky's getting the spotlight because I'm a huge Becky Lynch fan.
Oh yeah, definitely. But
So,
I like how they're doing what we're not really expecting. Like we expect it to be Sasha, or I don't know if everyone expected that, or what their opinion on that was. But some people probably expected a certain person, and then it ended up being somebody else, which I like when they do that, and that's the direction that they've
yeah.
decided to go
I
in.
apologize to the viewers, but my nose is just itching really bad right now. And I couldn't
That's okay.
ignore
Your
it
nose
anymore.
itches. I have a hideous cold sore on my face. We're live. Can't really, use makeup or editing. So we're all good. We're
Yeah.
good.
But I was like making that thing with my face because I'm trying to talk and not scratch my nose. I just gave up. So, yeah, but yeah, I'm really enjoying what they're doing. And like you said, when it's the only storyline besides the main storyline that is engaging you, that says a lot right now. I did want to quickly touch on the Intercontinental title situation because Dean Ambrose is named the number one contender, supposed to face Owens at TLC, but so I heard some people ask me why they haven't really built anything with the feud, and it's because Owens is currently ill. He came down with a really bad sickness, him and his son both. So he's just been recovering from being sick. You can't really be in the ring when you're sick because that would be bad.
For one, that's bad, and two, that's not sanitary either. You don't want to get
Yeah,
the whole roster sick. There's already too many people hurt or out right now. That's all
yeah,
WWE needs is more people
yeah.
out.
I just wanted to quickly touch on that and say there's nothing wrong with KO. But that's why I think they did what they did in the main event in case that was like a fallback in case KO couldn't wrestle at the pay-per-view or something like that. But let's talk about what all of Raw and all of SmackDown is and the way they're building Roman Reigns toward his rematch with Sheamus. Now, I said last week and the week before as
Just
well.
need to get the belt off of Sheamus. Like, I
Yeah,
don't even care at this point who it is, really. Just get it off of Sheamus. Obviously, people don't want Sheamus having the title. And I think also when he won, I mean, you could have just had him lose, but I think him winning, you know, cashing in was a way to just get rid of the title, as we were talking about last episode. But they didn't have to have him win.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, what I was saying was, I wouldn't be surprised to see Sheamus get like his own version of what Seth Rollins had with J&J Security. Like he was in a quote unquote tag team with Wade Barrett before, and now the Rusev thing happened last week. And sure enough, that's what happened. Rusev and Wade Barrett are officially by his side, but they also threw Alberto Del Rio in there in a really interesting twist, and they're calling it the League of Nations. So,
Oh yeah, I was just about to say that.
so Sheamus has his own heel faction called the League of Nations that's watching his back, and I actually like this.
Yeah,
I think
I
it
was just about
adds
to say
more.
that. I'm actually really enjoying it, and New Day is just probably another one of the few things that is absolutely fantastic
Oh yeah,
in WWE right now.
New Day isn't permanent members of the League of Nations, but when they got thrown into it on Raw, that was really funny. But yeah, I actually enjoy this move because this actually gives Sheamus a character because all the three of us said, our guest host Alex last week, and the two of us, all we said all show was Sheamus has no character. He has no character. He has no character.
And quoting Alex, he's just a haircut.
Yes, so this gives him a character. This actually gives him something to do. So I'm not quite as convinced as I was a week ago. Now, we can't do predictions until next week. You know, everything can change in WWE in a week. But I'm not quite as convinced as I was a week ago that Sheamus won't retain the championship just because they've actually sort of created a storyline now for him. So, what is your? Well, you kind of said you're already were enjoying it, but like, what's your overall feel about it? Do you like the idea of a new faction in WWE? Do you think it was a
Yes, because
bold
I think
move?
we need, you know, the state of WWE right now. There's not a lot of interesting stuff going on. There's a lot of wrestlers that don't have a direction to go in or just kind of there. And I think this just adds to making something in WWE interesting. And I think that, like you just said, and we've been saying for the past, like, I don't know how long, that Sheamus has no character and it gives him something to do. And I think it overall just makes, actually something to engage in besides the divas and maybe one or two other things in the company going on right now. I think it
Yeah,
just adds to things.
yeah, exactly. The thing that bothered me though was just that Roman got so beat down on Raw and SmackDown. Like the entire show was just him on SmackDown was just him getting beat down the entire time and dealing with consequences. Like they threatened to take the title shot away from the Usos and Dean Ambrose. Like it just feels a lot like what they did when they were building up John Cena to be where John Cena is. It feels like they're trying to recreate that with Roman Reigns.
Right.
But
They're trying to
yeah,
push him because of, an absence of so many people right
right.
now.
But I just go back to what we were saying last week. I don't think he works as a face right now. I think Roman is better off as a heel, and they're trying to make him this machine face. And I don't know.
Did we
There's a
talk
real
about that last episode too? How they're trying to
yes.
push him to where
And
it doesn't work for him. That character doesn't work for him.
yeah, I'm bored with it. And the problem with this WWE main event picture right now is that it actually took the League of Nations to get me invested in it because I'm bored with both of the creative direction of both guys
Yeah,
that are
same.
in the main event picture right now. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you feel about it. I mean, I know you're a fan of Roman
No, I do.
in
I really
general.
love Roman, but it's like the way that they're doing it is annoying, and what, like we were saying, like it just doesn't work for him, and they're shoving it to the point where they're trying to be like a Cena, because so many people are absent. And also, I wanted to point out too, some people work better as heels too. They're just naturally heel wrestlers, or they work better with a certain character. Like pushing Roman as such a huge face is not working for him, and it's getting people turned off from it, aggravated, or uninterested in what is going on right now.
Exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, what given that we have what we have and we can't change creative as much as even though we really wish that we could,
Oh yeah.
what do you think they're going to do? Do you see
Before we
this?
go to that, I actually I'm repeating myself, but this episode wasn't bad, and I like that they're actually trying to go in a decent direction.
Oh, they are, and I like the. I was gonna say I like the Usos and the Lucha Dragons. It gives New Day something to do, something new to do
Yeah,
there.
they're doing pretty
And
well with their tag teams right
and
now.
I
The
really
women's
like
division.
I really love the Dudley Boys feud with the Wyatts because that went in a whole new direction this
That
week.
was actually kind of unexpected to put those two together. No, not
Yeah,
two, but like two tag teams together.
yeah. I mean, it was something that Dudley's wanted, but I just didn't know if that was what they wanted to do with the Wyatts. But they did it, and then to see Tommy Dreamer thrown in the mix
Oh
again
my
this week,
gosh,
that was
that's
cool.
what I was waiting for us to say. Tommy Dreamer's actually back, and he got thrown in the mix. And the Wyatts are not only great characters, they're great wrestlers. Bray Wyatt's great on the mic, and just the Dudley Boys are obviously just the Dudley Boys, and they're cool too. But to throw Tommy Dreamer in there too was so unexpected, and they actually did something totally unexpected of a return on a regular episode of Raw, which was what I also really, really liked about Raw this week.
Yeah, I mean, we never get announced returns, so that was
Yeah.
pretty cool. I always thought that the
Because it always
feud
gets ruined, too.
I always thought if they were going to do a feud where the Dudleys were outnumbered, that Spike would be first. But now if Spike shows up, he's just going to be the fourth guy, which is I didn't expect that. So
Which
that's
I'm also seeing Tommy Dreamer December 27th, which I'm really excited about. But I mean, I'm excited to see other people, too. But I just find um, just very happy that he's back, and also getting back to Raw. I find the Wyatts so interesting. So for them to work with the Dudley Boys, and
well,
the Dudley Boys weren't really going in a direction because they were feuding with New Day for a while, and then they didn't win the title, and now they're going in actually a cool and interesting tag teams, or with the Wyatt
and
family.
I don't know if you agree or disagree, but I think that the Dudleys were supposed to become tag team champions, but when they saw the momentum that knew they had, they didn't want to kill it. So they that's why the
True.
Dudleys were kind of in
That
limbo
is
there
true,
for
but
a
then it
long
also kind of
time.
killed the Dudleys at the same time too. As amazing as New Day is, and they had such a momentum, and just taking them off, because where would they go after that?
Right.
But then at the same time, it's like, where does the Dudleys go? But they actually found a good storyline. Well, not them, but you know what I mean. Creative found a good storyline to go into with the Wyatt family.
Yeah. So I mean, I actually kind of like. I mean, last week's role was really just
Yeah.
but I think
This one was the creative direction has stepped
yeah,
up with this
I think
episode.
they really hit the reset button well this week. I enjoyed it.
So
So
hopefully they're able to stay consistent, because obviously they're going to have some bad episodes. They're obviously going to have some not so great storylines. It's normal. No matter what the show is, it's going to have its bad episodes, slow episodes, maybe not the greatest. But as long as they're able to stay consistent, and they've stayed consistent with this episode, so hopefully, this Raw they'll able to add to what they did last week and consistently have put on a good product. But that's a whole nother video. That's
yeah,
a whole nother video right there.
yes, it is. Well, we've been talking about maybe doing like maybe mini versions of No Turning Back or just regular videos, like because we always have these things that come up that would be interesting video topics, but we don't necessarily
Want to put them in here.
in a live show because then the live show would be extremely long.
Right.
So
This is mainly to touch on the huge points in WWE, and then I guess subtopics would be in a video, because you could do live reactions to things,
yeah,
or not that you can't do that here, but or you may want to talk about one wrestler, or you may do a skit or something. But that's what we want to do in our other videos. That's at least what I want to do. But getting completely off topic. Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead, Raz.
Okay, you're all right. I was just going to say real quick before we move on to NXT, I just wanted to get your answer to my question, which is, what do you see them doing right now with Roman and Sheamus? Do you think that this League of Nations thing means that Sheamus is going to hold the title and the feud's going to be a couple matches long now, or do you think Roman is still going to win at TLC? Like, what do you see them doing?
For some reason, I can see now that they have the Sorry, I'm itching my nose. Raz, you made my nose itchy.
I'm sorry.
Now that they have the League of Nations, I could see him holding the title. But I could also see if he picks up any momentum with his character. However, I could see him holding the title. But then also, I we originally thought, remember, that he would just drop the title at TLC so they could like push Roman Reigns to the moon. You know what I mean? So I think it all kind of depends, like what happens on Raw and
Yeah,
how Sheamus is able to, like, if he gains anything. You know?
you're right. I think we'll have a better feel for next week when we make predictions for TLC. But moving on to NXT, I love everything about all these feuds right now. The only one that I'm not really sold on, it's the same thing I said last week. I think Nia Jax is a little bit too soon to be in the title picture right now.
Yeah, we
But
were
other
discussing
than,
that yesterday. I think when we were watching it too. When we were catching up on some of our NXT, but
yeah,
we were
yeah,
talking about that yesterday.
yeah. But I love Samoa Joe. Just works so much better as a heel, and this whole thing with Finn Balor has got me on the edge of my seat. I can't freaking wait for Sami
Those two are
Zayn.
so interesting together.
Yeah, I can't freaking wait for Sami Zayn to come back. So
Oh
not
yeah, that
really,
too. That too.
not really much you can say about NXT.
Other than
Uh,
NXT is a lot better than the main roster.
yeah, because the thing about it is we covered most of it last week with Alex. What you can say leading up to it, but obviously we're going to be talking about. I don't know if we're going to be able to do predictions like we normally do for the pay-per-views for Takeover London, because that would mean we'd have to throw a random no turning back in the middle of the week, because Takeover London is in the middle of the week on a Wednesday and not on a weekend, I think. Or is it on? I have to double check my dates, but I don't think it's a normal Sunday like the main roster pay-per-views is what I'm saying.
Or
But
you could just have a separate video. I mean, that's what obviously your YouTube channel is for. Besides having a consistent show every week, you could do
yeah,
that too,
that's
right
true.
before it.
But I was just gonna say, but as far as the two of us together, I don't know what our plans are for that. But I just really think it's gonna be a really strong card, and I can't wait for you to see Takeover London, because you were so into Takeover Respect. Like that was one of your favorite shows
Oh yeah.
that we've watched together. So can't wait to watch Takeover London with you. Are you looking forward to it? I mean, you should be.
Oh, of course, of course. With me actually getting into something else other than, well, I mean, NXT is WWE, but to get to experience, NXT is great. I haven't seen it live, but I
Yeah.
can't wait for it.
All right.
So.
Well, anything else you wanted to add from what went on this week, or should we get to the
I just wanted to add that when you were saying about that Samoa Joe, is better as a heel, that works for a lot of wrestlers, that they actually work much better as a heel than they do as a face. But that's probably a whole nother topic
Yeah,
too.
and
But
it's
anyway,
I think that's everything to do with your character too, and why they work better a certain way and all that.
yep. So, what else did we want to talk about? SmackDown, right?
Well, I basically covered SmackDown because
You did.
SmackDown was just like the whole thing was about.
Or like a repeat of Raw.
Yeah, the whole thing was about beating down Roman Reigns with the League of Nations and building League of Nations. So I mean, we've already pretty much.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so is that everything that you wanted to cover before we move
Yeah,
on
that's
to
why
like the Q&A part?
Yeah, that's why I was asking you before
All
we
right.
did that.
I was just making sure that I didn't want to cut you off if you wanted to add anything else.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, so hold on, I gotta get the questions, but we're gonna do a Q&A, a little mini Q&A. I'm gonna read off the questions, and I know you can, whoever is in this, or if you're watching this later, can answer too. So one of the questions is, what is your favorite type of matches in WWE?
I
It's not a
don't
hard
think
one.
you can. Yeah, I don't think you can really say a favorite type of match, because whether a match is good or not depends on the build and the storyline leading to
That's
a
true.
match. I mean, there's been great tag matches, great singles matches, great gimmick matches. I think my favorite gimmick match of all time will always be the Hell in a Cell.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
I think what he means by like your favorite match, or what was the question?
favorite
Like favorite
type of.
match. Yeah, I think what he was hinting at is your favorite type of match, because I think he would have worded it different if he said, what is your favorite match of all time, or one of your
Yeah,
favorite
well,
matches.
my favorite
But
type of match, I guess, gimmick match, is Hell in a Cell, and I like Iron Man and Iron Woman. But both of those circumstances are really hard to build toward and really hard to do right. So we don't see them that much, which
That's
I
true,
think, which I think
but
also adds to the specialness of it.
yeah, that's what I was
Because,
just about to say. You took the words right out of my mouth. I'd have been like,
yeah.
for Hell in a Cell, we don't normally see those matches anymore. So when they do them, it has that special factor. So obviously for me, Hell in a Cell, I'm pretty sure anything probably Undertaker related, gimmicky type matches, probably for me.
Oh,
Um,
ladder matches are always amazing too.
or
Sorry.
yeah, I love when we involve weapons in a match. You know,
Yeah.
tables. Well, obviously, so like TLC. More back then, it was kind of more relevant and more used. If that's not proper English, used a lot better, I guess, if that's how you say it. But
Yeah.
probably anything with TLC and like Hell in a Cell. So that's
Yeah.
one of my favorites. Anything else with that one?
No, not that I can
Okay,
think of.
that you can think of. I should probably just keep my phone on. Okay. I don't know if you want me to go in order of the video or not the video, but oh, this is a good question. Which title should come back to WWE in your opinion? Why?
Oh gosh. Well, here's the thing. Right now, just because of the way the landscape is, I actually think they need to create a first, and that would be a women's tag team championship.
Oh yeah, they
Because
don't.
there's so many strong women wrestlers now, and obviously,
And
not
there's a lot of factions and tag teams together too with them.
yeah. So not every woman can hold the singles championship. So I think a tag team championship would really, help build a lot of these girls that they really want to keep relevant. So that would be my first answer. And then my second answer
I want the
would,
women's title back.
oh
Not
yeah,
the Divas title.
oh
I
yeah,
feel like Divas is such a not an I don't know what the right word is for it, but like amateur or like as if they're like models or just, unimportant. I don't like the term diva. It seems like they're over dramatic and stuff, and I feel like the women's title is just so much better. I don't really know how to explain it,
oh,
but
I absolutely 100% agree with you. I've said that before. I think, especially with the way the whole landscape has changed, and it is about women's wrestling now and not about being the model. I absolutely
right.
do think they need to bring back the women's championship. I think they made a huge mistake when they were able to do what they need to do to get AJ Lee out of the picture because they're mad at AJ Lee by Nikki breaking that record. But when Charlotte
I also think it
took
makes
that
the
title,
women's title. Sorry to
I think
interrupt you. No, go ahead. Actually, continue.
I was just gonna say, I think when Charlotte won that title from Nikki, I think they made a huge mistake by not bringing the women's title back right then on that Raw.
And
Like
I also think the
Charlotte
women's
should have just
title
come out and said,
also gives it relevance. Not that the divas don't have
yeah,
relevance right now, but I think that also
yeah,
it makes it look more. It makes it more serious because I feel like with the divas title, it just seems childish. Like even with the name. But continue what you were saying.
yeah. No, I was just agreeing with you about all the reasons why there should be a women's championship, and hopefully it happens sooner rather than later. The one other title I was going to mention is the cruiserweight title because I would love
Oh
to
yeah,
see someone like Neville have a championship, or someone like Sami Zayn have a championship, or Finn
right.
Balor if he's on the main roster. There's so many
Right. It's not such like a
guys.
heavy title, not in terms of weight, but it's not like and it's not like it's like a title to help build you because you wouldn't want them going and winning the world heavyweight WWE championship, but it's kind of a
Right,
way
right,
to like give them that ground, you know.
right. But other than that, just build the mid card titles right because they're not really building Intercontinental Championship and the U.S. Championship really well right now. So they need to build those up right as well because the mid card titles are important because as we said, not everybody can be Divas Champion or WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So.
Okay, so these are some of the questions that are left. I don't know which one that you want to answer, but it's like,
Well, we can
what is
do whatever, however many you
okay?
want.
I think maybe one or two more questions, but what is your favorite WWE pay-per-view theme song or a couple of them?
WWE pay-per-view theme song. Oh
Yeah.
gosh,
I don't know if I can think off the top of my
I don't
head.
know if I can think of the top of my head either. Um, I guess
Without
let the bodies hit the floor for the old ECW One Night Stand. I really like that one. That one sticks
Gosh, I don't even know if I
in
can
my
think of
head a lot.
anything. I'm gonna remember right after this episode ends. Be like, oh,
Yeah.
that's my favorite
And I
one.
really like the Shine Down song from the last pay-per-view
Oh yeah, I like
from
that.
Survivor Series. I like that a lot.
Well, I guess
But,
maybe not necessarily pay-per-view theme songs, but I do really like the NXT theme song.
oh yeah, the NXT theme song was tremendous. That's our favorite song, The Roar of the Crowd. We sing that so loud every time.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I would answer your questions, but I would be sitting here all day long trying to think of something, and my iPod's off over there. Otherwise, I would go look. But I don't know if I can think of anything. Oh, well, it was in kind of like a promo-y thing, but I really, really liked when they used Eminem's song. Legacy. I really, really like that song.
Legacy was a great choice. I actually said, did you remember this when they were teasing, the reality of The Rock and John Cena feud a few years ago?
Yeah.
I said that John Cena should use during the rematch with The Rock, and he said it was all about his legacy and why he had to beat The Rock. I said he needs to use that song as his entrance at Mania, and I remember you saying that needs to happen too. So it's a shame they didn't do that.
Yeah. I just like some of the rap that they do, or a mix of like music when they do some of the themes. But right off the top of my head, I really can't think of anything at the moment. But those are just, I guess, a few.
Yeah.
So I think this question's a bit, because there've been really bad storylines. But was the worst storylines ever in WWE? And I
Well,
think
I
that's
don't
a very
know if it's
subjective question.
okay. Well, yeah, that's very subjective. I think Katie Vick was obviously the biggest mistake they ever made. One
Oh
of them,
yeah, with the whole, oh gosh.
the whole Katie Vick doll thing that came.
Yeah.
I think Vince's limo blowing up was another one because who's gonna believe that Vince is dead? And that didn't really get to go anywhere because of the real life terrorist attacks that happened the next week. And the other one that I really think, I don't know if it was just the worst storyline, but it's just a huge missed opportunity. But that's the invasion storyline with WCW because they didn't let WCW stick around. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think a lot of the problems with wrestling right now are because they didn't let WCW stick around and actually have competition. Even though it would all be owned by the same people, I think two strong wrestling companies just make wrestling better. So
True. I feel like saying the worst storyline ever is a bit exaggerating. 'Cause sure, they've had some pretty awful storylines, but I don't know, because somebody's worst storyline could be somebody's favorite storyline. So I think the question, I mean, it's obviously to create discussion, but it's a very subjective question.
yeah,
So
yeah. But
I mean, I guess people would probably be like, how some people are with complaining. They'd be naming everything right now in WWE.
right,
But
which I purposely did not do. But I'm just giving an answer just for the heck of it, though. What would you?
just give it. Well, I was gonna say the first one that you said, but
The Katie Vick one?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think I can think of anything off the top of my head. Probably what you said with that, or just like some of. I don't necessarily think I can name. Not that I'm trying to bash WWE. I was gonna sound like I am. I don't think I can really name one, but I think the certain directions that the product is in right now, because they either are leaving wrestlers with nothing to do, or they're just repeating old things. I mean, I'm not trying to complain, but
Yeah, yeah. I feel you.
so those are, well, the next question is about Total Divas, but you and I don't really watch Total Divas.
Well,
That's about it.
so it depends on what the question is, but
What do you think of Total Divas?
I think it's completely pointless. I think it's just WWE trying to do something they're not. Like Alex said, they're not. They're trying to do a reality show. It's not. They're not a reality show. They're WWE. It's a complete different animal.
It's sports entertainment. It's kind of weird to put in reality TV with sports entertainment.
Yeah, and it's even more scripted than what we see on Raw and SmackDown and pay-per-views are. I mean, like anybody's really going to believe that there's problems between Natalya and Tyson Kidd. Like anybody's really going to believe that Dolph Ziggler is going to go after Nikki Bella when clearly John Cena and Nikki Bella are together.
If that was real life, Ziggler would be dead, and I'm not even a Cena fan.
No,
And that would
yeah.
cause a lot of drama anyway.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
that's
is.
the point of a reality show, obviously.
It is true that Nikki and Dolph dated before Nikki and John, but Dolph is a respectful guy and he's not an idiot. So I mean,
No, and they both know it's just storyline. So
yeah.
it's
So
like a storyline within a storyline, and it doesn't work. And I tried to get into it only because I really just wanted to see Natalia and stuff. But
yeah,
like,
well, that's I was gonna
I,
say that's my favorite part about Told Divas is it makes Natalia relevant on TV.
which is sad because she's amazing anyway, so she should be relevant. But
Uh,
anyway, anything else before we close the show?
no, and no other questions for this week then.
Nope.
Or okay,
So
cool.
you guys
Well,
can leave comments down below. You can leave questions down below.
oh, I did want to run something past you, and you can say
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
you can say yes or no to this idea. But if we're gonna start doing Q&As regularly, do you think we should get a no turning back Twitter, just specifically so we can keep track of the questions better?
Yeah, we could. We'll make one. But if we do make one, it'll be in the description. You can send questions there. You can send questions to any of our social
Yeah, you
media.
can send questions
But
anywhere, but I'm just saying,
definitely in the
something.
comments, discuss all that, talk about storylines, ask
Yeah.
questions. But go ahead, Raz.
Well, I just wanted to, give the viewers something, uniform and easy to go
Yeah.
to, kind of a thing. But yeah, so hopefully we'll have more questions next week because that's enjoyable doing that. I enjoyed doing that.
Yeah, that was
And,
fun.
and
So,
I will see you next week, partner.
bye. Oh, yep. And you got to thumbs up this video and read the description. You can leave, your questions. But if we do make that, all the information will be in the description. And I mean, you can really send your stuff anywhere, but to make it easier, you could specifically for, no turning back, you could send it to that Twitter. But anyway, I'm going to end it here, and we'll see you next week with an all new turning back. No turning back. Bye. Want to say
Bye.
bye?
Bye.